The rough year from Star Trek that started in January with the release of Section 31, I bet you nobody remembers that, continues on with Starfleet Academy. And we talked about this, I think it was at the tail end of last week, because over Comic-Con, where very little was actually revealed or discussed or any news was really broken, there was a trailer that came out that was just so quintessentially 2018 that, yeah, we looked at some of it. I tied it in with some of the outrage that was going on in regards to Sydney Sweeney, because it was a fun parallel to draw for that conversation. But this time around, well, now we can just specifically talk about Star Trek, the health of the franchise moving forward, and what ultimately is going to happen after the Paramount Skydance merger goes through. But hey, this is one of these classic examples, right, where you know that your show, well, it kind of sucks and it's getting laughed about all across the internet, from hardcore Trekkies, lapsed Trekkies, and even just people from the outside looking in, just having a laugh at your project. Because for as much as you want to say, all right, Star Trek's newest show has a 4-year plan, reveals the executive producer whose contract is apparently up at the end of this year and is definitely on the chopping block after Skydance starts to have a much more direct control as to what type of content is coming out of their studios. But how many times have we seen a strategy like this come out of creatives on the bubble? I mean, like the first name that comes to mind for me is Russell T Davies with Doctor Who. Oh, we have so many ideas. Okay, we have so many spin-offs. We could just have all of these things that we want to do. We just don't know when we're going to get around to it. Okay, somebody who is linked very closely with J.J. Abrams. You got, Alex Kurtzman, how he's parroting the master with that one, because J.J. Abrams, oh my God, he had all of these plans for all of these different things over at Disney and Star Wars, but then he took a big old payout over at Warner Brothers and produced absolutely nothing, and now he's, well, doing what exactly? Yeah, that's what I thought. But focusing back on Kurtzman and Star Trek here for a second, Starfleet Academy has a 4-year plan. According to executive producer and co-showrunner Alex Kurtzman, Star Trek Starfleet Academy revealed its first teaser trailer at San Diego Comic-Con, offering eye-popping glimpses at the 32nd century school and starship led by Academy Award winner Holly Hunter as Captain Nala Aki, right, the Chancellor of Starfleet Academy. Right, yeah, you have Elastigirl there, and that's wonderful and that's fantastic, but what the hell was that Jemadar? Anyways, Starfleet Academy stars, yes, Holly Hunter, Bella Shepard, Sandro Rosta, and a bunch of other names that I have no fucking idea about. But Alex Kurtzman spoke to Collider's Steen Weintraub at San Diego Comic-Con. Kurtzman revealed plans for Starfleet Academy Season 3 are underway. Wow! And that the show has a 4-year plan because college is 4 years long. Oh my God, that is so smart, Alex. Tell us more. You have to have a 4-year plan because college is 4 years long. Because, yeah, that's how something that would take place in the 32nd century military operation, that's how they would work. God, you're so fucking dumb. How do you have a plan for Season 3? What's so fun is that when you start breaking a season, inevitably, you have too many ideas and you go, oh, wait a minute, this is cool and we should do that this season. Yeah, normally you do that when you do this weird thing that I know a lot of Hollywood writers are just out of step with. But, yeah, you used to do this thing called rewrite your script, but no, he just puts things into production and then just kind of like how Marvel Plus is an idea, they just come back and they just rework it. That explains, just the continuity problems on top of several other problems that Kurtzman Trek has had over the years. But anyways, I always want to leave enough room to have improvisation happen. You know what pillars we're trying to hit. But we just came to the end of Season 2 where we're about to write the finale, which is kind of amazing, and it's exactly where we wanted to go. But when we started Season 2, it isn't exactly how we thought we'd get there. It's really fun. Oh, see, look at that. He's trying to sell the script for Season 2. Don't worry, guys. It's gonna be fantastic. You already seen the teaser trailer that is coming out for Season 1 at the beginning of 2026. It's gonna be fantastic, right? That's why you want a Season 3. That's why you want a Season 4, and that's also where you definitely want a Season 2, right? Kurtzman also discussed how Starfleet Academy will blend serialization with episodic storytelling. Again, yeah, that's just code for we don't really know what we're doing over here. It's like we just kind of want to do a bunch of shit on somebody else's dime, and yeah, we're kind of flying by the seat of our pants. We're going to be everything and all things except for representative of actual Star Trek. Yes, there are serialized stories that will take you from the beginning to the end of the season. What are you dealing with, like 10 episodes? Wow, just a Methuselaic task you have here. And some will carry on to season 2. Oh, look at that, guys. Cliffhanger, just like the Acolyte had. Where am I going with that? Who knows? However, we really do have standalone episodes. So once the story has been established and everybody gets together, we begin to foreground certain characters as a lead of each episode, and then everybody comes together so that by the time you get to the finale, you know everybody very, very well. Remember when you used to have a TV show, TV series rather, you know, your old traditional network TV series that would have 22 to 24 episodes per season? You wouldn't have to wait until the end of the season to get to know all of these people. You wouldn't have to worry that over your, 8 to 10 episode season, if you would have 2 or 3 of them dedicated to, I don't know, a sing and dance number like you had with, what was that, Strange New Worlds? God, that was an atrocious trailer. You wouldn't have to worry about wasting so much time. But don't worry, guys, there's going to be cliffhangers. There's going to be a lot of mystery boxing, because as a disciple of bad reboot and J.J. Abrams, oh my God, that's the only type of storytelling we can wrap our heads around, right? So yeah, you definitely want to tune in and check out the beginnings and the makings of our 4-year plan, right? Because we wouldn't want the second season to immediately be canceled. Fucking lol. But Star Trek: A Starfleet Academy Season 2 canceled before Season 1 premiere amid massive dislike ratio. Yeah, because, I don't know, man. Like, we looked at some of the stills, and that one right there is like, okay, cool, you're going to be doing all of this stuff, not in 2025, but in 2026, years after this shit. Well, it's always been bad, but now that it is just so far out of the public consciousness and what they're willing to put up with. But Kurtzman, he's been at the helm of Star Trek for just about 10 years at this point. He has bastardized everything, stripped it from what it meant to be a Star Trek series to ostensibly be a diverse woman in space crying, by bringing on Stacey Abrams to be the president of Earth, to get the fossilized remains of Patrick Stewart to come back for 2 seasons of Picard, where he could just cry and complain and apologize for being a white man, but then managed to comport himself quite nicely for season 3 of Picard. Just goes to show you how vacuous and empty-headed a lot of actors are, so that's why I don't really give them a lot of leeway when it comes to their political takes or even just their, life advice, but I digress. In a surprising and perhaps not unwelcomed turn of events for Star Trek fans, a new rumor suggests that Paramount Plus has already pulled the plug on Season 2 of the upcoming Starfleet Academy, even though Season 1 has yet to air. Yeah, and doesn't even have a concrete release date. Remember, at the end of that trailer, it was just coming out in 2026. Everybody's like, yeah, no, that's fine. Claim originated by a YouTube podcast called Tachyon Pulse and amplified by fan sites points to dissatisfaction from studio executives and high production costs as the primary reasons. Well, yeah, because Skydance is coming in. I forget exactly when that merger is getting finalized, but we have seen exactly what the lengths to which that they're going in order to make that deal happen. And yeah, Stephen Colbert right now is definitely punching air. Many also surmise the first trailer's massive like-to-dislike ratio has something to do with it. I would imagine, because if public sentiment is that low, and you're already dealing with a franchise that is just so goddamn dead. It's not quite as dead as Doctor Who, but it might as well be. However, no official confirmation from Paramount or the show's producers. This remains speculative amid the franchise's ongoing evolution under a new ownership. Well, yeah, exactly. They wouldn't come out and say, yeah, it's going to be one and done. We had a 4-year plan and all that shit. But yeah, we're not going to DCEU this stuff, okay? Where, yeah, James Gunn is coming in and rebooting all of this stuff. But hey, look forward to Blue Beetle, and The Flash is the best superhero movie ever. God, what a piece of shit that guy is. But enough James Gunn hate for one day. The rumor first surfaced, yes, on Tachyon Pulse podcast, a YouTube channel focused on Star Trek discussions. According to the host, an unnamed source revealed that Skydance Media, now overseeing Paramount's content following a recent merger, has reviewed early edits of Starfleet Academy Season 1 and found them underwhelming. You don't say. Series is reportedly massively expensive. Fucking how? We've seen the trailer and that shit looks like ass. Prompting executives to reconsider committing to a second season before gauging audience reception. Well, yeah, you could already gauge the audience receptions. Not good. Scenario echoes the fate of Star Trek Prodigy. Okay, another Kurtzman era series that was canceled by Paramount after its first season and was later picked up by Netflix. I don't even remember that. Under Kurtzman's production company, Secret Hideout, the Star Trek projects must first be pitched to Paramount, but if they're rejected, they can be shopped elsewhere. The podcast speculates that Starfleet Academy would follow a similar path, potentially leading to an embarrassing setback for Kurtzman, who co-show runs the series. Exactly, and yeah, you take a look at the, like to dislike ratio ratio just on YouTube specifically, but yeah, you take a look at wherever that trailer is posted and it's getting fucking roasted because it just looks so... It looks so modern day. It looks so modern Star Trek. It just looks like something that nobody's going to give a shit outside of a couple of terminally online fucking weirdos. But like I said at the beginning, with Section 31 kicking off the year for Star Trek, and then Starfleet getting its first trailer, it's been a bad year for Star Trek. Hell, it's been a bad decade for Star Trek, but now with Skydance in the fold and Star Trek being such a loss leader, you're wondering if at worst they just shelve the property for a while, or best case scenario, they get rid of Alex Kurtzman and they bring in somebody competent to helm this, a ripe, fertile ground. Because at this point in time, man, a good revival of Star Trek, that would be a very well appreciated by audiences, casual and hardcore alike. Because apparently this shit, yeah, it ain't playing to anybody. So anything needs to change. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.